Hey everyone, good evening. Hope all of you are able to see my screen and hope all of you can hear me. Can I have a quick confirmation? Can I have a quick confirmation? Wonderful, thank you. All right, so let's start with DM because yesterday we have completed this adverse events, right? So after that, what I have said to you. So once we have completed your adverse events, we can do MH, DV, DS because these three are also part of our project. Correct? So how can we see that? You can see that in your specification Excel, correct? So let me go there, see this project and project one under the specification Excel, we can clearly see that you have disposition domain, you have protocol deviation, and you also have your medical history, correct? So you can do that. So let me tell you how you can proceed with that. Suppose if it is going to be medical history. So you know the drill, right? So what is the drill here? All you need to worry about this is going to be, maybe you can also hide this. Just I'm telling you for your reference, you can hide this one as well. So these are going to be your fields, correct? And here is what your calculation is. Even out also, I can hide it. For your easy thing, I'm telling you guys. I don't need these two. Origin also, I don't need it. So now here is my data, my total data is, and if I go with my core, first we will go with the required. This is my required thing. So study ID is already present. You have your unique subject identifier. It is going to be concatenation of study ID hyphen your subject ID, and you know subject ID calculation that you can also get it from your adverse event or you can also get it from your DM. It is already there. Domain is also there. So sequence number is the one which you are going to do it at the last, correct? Once you complete your complete data set, you are going to do that. MH term, it is already available in your input data set. Let me show you. I'm just trying to show you what is present so that you can easily do this by tomorrow, that in your free time. I'm just guiding you what needs to be done. So your medical history is there, correct? So you know your project is nothing but your study identifier, correct? So you have your subject. The subject is the one you are going to take the first four characters hyphen the last three characters is the one which is going to form your subject ID. By using the project and subject ID, you can do the first variable, and that first variable is nothing but your, what is the first variable? Yeah. Okay, let me take this. Guys, please carefully follow this. I'm going with medical history. Under the medical history, I'm going with the required variables. That is, the core is required. Study identifier. The study identifier is nothing but your project. Whatever is project, that is nothing but your subject identifier. Correct? So you can simply take this one. Domain. You need to set your domain to MH. Directly you can do it. Unique subject identifier. In your specification Excel, it's clearly mentioned that concatenate your study ID and subject. Your study ID is this, or you can take this one also, correct? This concatenation, your hyphen concatenation. What's the next thing? Subject ID. So how to calculate the subject ID? Subject ID is going to be first four characters hyphen last three characters. This calculation you can also see in the which one? Our AE, because in the AE we clearly calculated that particular piece. Correct? Just give me a second. All right. So what is next one? Here MH sequence, which is nothing but a sequence number. This you can do at the end. After all the calculation, at the end, for each subject, based on the nature of your domain, you are going to calculate this. This is going to be a sequence number. Correct? Then MH term. The MH term is going to be simply you can upcase your MH term. Already MH term is here. Let's see where it is. Site number, CRF, report term for your medical history. This is nothing but your MH term. It is already, you can see that it is already upcase that particular one. So you don't need to do anything. Simply you can take that and you can use this particular one. MH term, it is already available. I can say that all the required variables are readily available for you. Simple and straightforward. What is the next thing that we can do? I don't see any expected variables. Bit strange. Okay, go with the permissible variables. I go with the permissible variables. Whatever is present, you can take that. If it is not present, you can leave it. Correct? So few of them are present. These two are already present. Let's take these two. So here you can see that MHEN, that is end relative reference time point. For that we have MH ongoing. For that, if based on this particular one, you are going to do the calculation. It is readily available. And your MH decode, that is dictionary derived term. It is MH term underscore PT. PT stands for your preferred term. Correct? So it is already there, just populate in the uppercase. These two will be readily available. So the remaining, if it is present in your input file, that is in your raw data set, take it. Because I don't see these are present, you can directly use it. That is, you can put what to say, hyphens, not hyphens, missing values. Directly you can put it. Correct? If it is there, well and good. If it is not there, you can directly put the missing values. Only for the approach, you can see that this entire medical history will be happening at the screening side. So you can say that the approach value will be set to screening. Correct? So SDTTC, NDTTC, MHDY, these three we need to calculate. So how to calculate this? MH start date and time and your MH end date and time can be calculated based on your formulas. What are those formulas? Based on the reference date, you need to calculate. Reference date, you need to pick it from your DM domain, right? The drill remains going to be the same. Can you guys do this? Everyone, can you guys do this? Any questions? Anyone, any questions, kindly let me know. Do you, any of you have any questions? Please tell me. If you tell me, I can answer them. That is the only reason I'm asking. Anyone? So if you don't say anything, then I will be in an assumption that you're good with this and I can proceed with my data. Okay. I think all of you are comfortable. I'll proceed with this. Okay. So I'm expecting this to be completed. All of you will be finished this particular one. I'm expecting this at least by coming Monday. It's up to you. I don't force you. All I need is if you, all of you are able to complete it, I'm really happy. Okay, that is the only thing. So if you can complete it, I'll be the happy person. You can share the code with me. You can ask for the review. You can follow up if I don't respond to you on time. You can do all that. But all I need from you is complete it. That's it. Just complete it. All right. All right. So let me go with the next one because I feel all of you are comfortable with this. So with that assumption, I'm just going ahead with the next particular one. Okay. So just like your EMH, you can also do your disposition domain, right? The drill is going to be the same. You're going to first proceed with your required variables. Just go to the code, filter out your required variables, and for the required variables, what is required, you can get it from your either from the CRF or from your raw data set or from the or based on the derivation. Similarly, you also have the DV here. DV is going to be a very simple one. You can see that it is a very few of them available. You can simply take that and you can complete it. At any point of time, if you have any question, you can open your implementation guide and you can also go through that. Clear? Right. So this is going to cover these three domains. I have completed the coding for adverse event. I have given the direction for how to proceed with your medical history, and DV and DS I haven't explained it purposefully because you have enough knowledge to proceed with them. If you find difficulties, let me know. Okay. Now, so we are our thing will also cover your DM, COs, SE, and SV. Today, I'll also give you the demonstration for your CO, SC, and SV, and I'll go with the detailed coding for the demo. Okay, so now just go with the comments domain. Here is what your comments domain is. Again, a very simple domain. You know how to go with the data here. Just check that, and any questions, ask me. Same is the case with SE, a bit equivalent to your comments as well because you don't find much of the variables here. The same is going to be the case with the SV as well. But remember, the calculation parts are very important. Check that and accordingly proceed with that. Clear? Right? So what are the variables that are required to you? Only those proceed with. The remaining variables you don't need to worry. If you see this, these variables you don't need to proceed with. This is not for you. You need to go only up to this. Clear, everyone? Any questions? Please let me know if you have any questions. All right. I'm just thinking, carry on, fine, okay. Okay, now the first question to all of you is, how many of you go through the code that we have done yesterday? Any of you reviewed the code? Any of you try to create your data set on your own? Or anything you tried like that, guys? Just wondering. Any of you? Right. Please try to do that. That is very important. Please try to do that. Okay, because it is the most important thing, and only when you go through the coding you can understand what needs to be done and what are the modifications required. All these things you can do only when you go through the code on your own. As long as you are okay, just give me 1 second. There is a question. In any raw data set, extra information is there, are used supplementary domain? Yes. Any extra information, yes, it will go to the supplementary domain. You can use it, but even those details are given here. What I'm trying to say is you can strictly go to your calculation part that is mentioned here. That is more than sufficient. That is more than sufficient. Okay. If anything required, I'll tell you. Most of the cases, whatever is required, you can see this particular Excel. It is more than sufficient to go ahead with that. Every piece of information is already given here. Everything, right? You can also see this. Every piece of information is available, right? You don't need to worry about it. You can just go ahead with your data sets, the respective Excels. In the Excel, whatever is mentioned, simply proceed with that particular. Okay, and I also going to share one more Excel with you guys. I haven't sent that yesterday. This is the another Excel. This is going to have little more details about the data sets. You can use any one of this, or you can keep both of them for your reference. Okay, it has a little more information like this. You can see the examples kind of stuff is available. Clear? You can use any of this. You can use this or the other. Okay, so can we go with the DM data set today? Can we go with the DM domain and see how we can do this? All right. So let me proceed with this. Guys, please try to speak. So AM is already done. Sorry, AE is already done. Yesterday it's already completed. Maybe I can use this as a reference. Up to this, I can use it. Correct? So I can say that it is going to be DM followed by SDTM code. The objective is going to be I need to read demographics data set and create a data set as per your. Okay, what is going to be the difference between RF SDDTC and RF X SDDTC? Raja, this indicates that you're not going to the notes at all, right? So if something related, immediately I can answer it. But this one you can see, if you go to our clinical SAS, if you go to your demographics domain, this we have discussed multiple times. And even beyond that particular one, if you go to your notes also, you can find it. Few things I'm expecting all of you to go through this, because the theoretical part, why we spent so much of time there is we want to have a clear understanding about the variables, its labels, and how to derive them. Then we can go ahead with the coding. If the base is going to be strong, it is so easy. So just to show you, Raja, we also have I remember that all the variables, all the date variables examples also I have used. Can you see this? This is what you asked, right? RF XSDDTC, correct? So now you can see it is going to be like in any case, right? Instead of the regular treatment, whatever is going to be the study drug is, or whatever is going to be the intended treatment is, instead of that treatment, we have provided some other drug or some other treatment before we start our actual treatment. Means that treatment start date, you can call it as the RFX SDTC, which is nothing but first study treatment. Why we need it? The examples also I have given. There are two cases. I remember Sanchi was asking some question. By the time we have explained that with multinational center and also multi-center study. In the regular cases also you can see. My study drug is going to be fever. I want to go ahead with the fever. That is for fever treatment we are giving, right? But that subject is having some vomiting sensation. So to control the vomiting sensation, we have given one drug first. Once the subject becomes normal, then we proceeded with the regular study treatment. So ideally, I supposed to start the treatment only for fever. Since subject is having vomiting sensation, we have given some supporting treatment to him. That supporting treatment start date is nothing but your RFXSDDTC. This will occur most of the time. Your RFXSDDTC and RFSDDTC will be the same most of the times, right? Only under the circumstances like this, or if the same subject undergoing with the multiple phases of treatment, and one treatment is happening at one site and another, the next phase of the treatment happening in a different site, then it will be different. In all of them cases, it is going to be the same. You can see the examples also. Clear? Any questions? Because I remember giving the examples. That's the reason I have opened this particular. All right. Always keep your notes open, keep your SDTM implementation guide open, and go with your raw data. That is the ideal way of starting. Okay. Now we are going to do the same. So here I have my SDTM implementation guide. I have opened this particular one. I have my raw data set. I have my examples. And I have my specification example. And now we can proceed with the data. Okay. So let's start the code. Any other questions from anyone? Feel free to ask me. Don't mind if I say that, hey, why you are asking this question? I have already explained. Though I give this particular statement, I won't stop explaining it. I'll explain it again. This is just a, I can say that, concern from my end that you need to go through all the data points. You need to go through all the notes, right? Raja, don't hesitate to ask me the same question, even maybe in the next week also. Don't worry. You can ask me. I may ask you saying that, I may telling you that, Raja, this I have already explained, but still I'll continue with the explanation. It is just a concern that you guys are not ready. Nothing more than that. Okay? Yeah. Don't hesitate to ask the question, guys. That is my primary thing. Okay? Ask me as many times as possible, but share me some input from your end. So I'll be happy. Okay, perfect. So you're going to write the code for this by today. The data set that I'm going to use is TM1. Here it is. Where it is? Here is DM1 data set. The path remains going to be the same. Output path also going to be the same. No other changes. Only one change is I want to see all the variables. I just go with DM, right? So this whole thing, I'm going to save it as DM SDTM code.sas. Clear? Can I run this just to see my data? So now I go here and go to my work library and go with which one here, guys? Yes, DM raw variables. Here are my variable list. So why do you need the variable list? Just to make sure what is going to be the variables which are coming from my input raw data set. Okay, I'll simply going to export this, guys. I'm going to export this particular one to make sure to refer all my variables whenever I need. So I'm just going to keep it in the desktop itself. I'm going to call this as DM, DM raw variables. Okay, DM raw variables.xls. Okay, save, replace, yes, and okay. I'll just call it as DM. Finish. You can also use proc export if you want to do some practice. Okay, instead of doing this, you can also go ahead with the proc export also. All right, so where is, here it is, my variable list. Okay, so here is my variable list. Let's take this just to make sure it is visible. We will go with this. Just a second. All right, now it is properly visible. Okay, also change to done. So my data set is ready. Okay, that is my variables are ready. These are the variables which is present in my input data set. What and all we can do here? I just open my this code. Which code? My raw DM1. This is my input data set, right? I just keep it open. Then here you can see, before I go with the formats and everything, all these things, I'll simply go with this first. Don't worry, I'll tell you why I'm taking this also. I'll tell you, don't worry. So it is going to be DM1. Renaming part, study ID anyways. Okay, renaming also we'll do one by one. For now, we don't do any renaming. Study ID is equal to project. We know that. Correct? Study ID is equal to project. We know that. Domain is going to be DM. Unique subject ID is going to be your study ID. You need to concatenate it with the subject ID. Subject ID is the one. Here is what you are going to calculate it. Correct or not? So these three I can use as it is. While doing so, can I also these three? Lengths also I'm assigning directly. Now itself I'm assigning. Okay. So DM1 is the one I'm taking. DM base is the one which I'm developing here. Under the length, these are the ones I'm using. Under the renaming, now I'm going to make use of this. Under the renaming, what we are going to do? The first renaming we are going to do here is going to be study ID is the one which I'm going to rename. Correct? Because study ID is already exists there. That is the reason we are renaming it. That's all right. My raw data, from the raw data, I'm renaming study ID to study ID 1. I'm creating a new variable called study ID where I'm assigning my project. Project is the one where I have my study identifier. Domain I'm directly assigning to DM. Unique subject ID is the one I'm just creating that by using my the conditions that are given in my SDTM. Here you can see concatenate study ID hyphen take first 4 digits from your subject hyphen last 3 digits from the subject. The same thing I'm doing here. Study ID, the first 4 digits, then the last 3 digits. Am I correct? Just to make sure we are doing in a right way. Run. What and all the variables I want to keep it? Study ID I want to keep it in my output, domain, and then unique subject. That's all right. These three are the ones that I'm taking first. So I'm just going with these 3 data sets. I'm calling it as a demographics data set. Let's see, are we having the right data or not? Right? Check now where it is. This is what my work. From the work, I can see DM. Oh, it is DM base, right? Oh, DM only. Is it DM or DM base? Which one? It's supposed to be DM base. This one. Can you see now? Study identifier is there. After the study identifier, you have the domain. After the domain, you have the unique subject identifier. Why I'm going with all these 3? So again, we can go with the drill. I can only go with the required variables first, but also I can do simply I'm taking this particular one. Okay, or because it is there already. Otherwise, as we did yesterday, we can go to the DM domain. In the DM domain, we can go ahead with the required variables only, right? These are the required variables. These many required variables are there. Just check, guys. All these required variables, take it. Study ID, domain, unique subject ID is over. Now I can go with the subject ID also. How to calculate the subject ID? Here it is. Take 4 digits from the subject and 3 digits from the subject. Just I need to put the hyphen between them. But if you see, the subject is already present. Somewhere it should be there. Here it is. So what we need to do, if it is already present, we need to rename it first. Correct or not? So first do the renaming. So under the rename, I will say that there is a variable called subject. So subject is equal to subject1. Then I need to have the length for it. The length for the subject is 10. The length for the subject is 10. And here unique subject ID is 40, guys. Correct? They have given the length as 40. So now I need to go with 40. Oh, sorry. What is the next thing? I need to go with the subject ID. SUBJ ID. What is the length? The subject ID length must be 10. This I need to keep it in my keep variables. My subject ID is equal to, can I take this whole thing as is with only one change, and that one change is going to be, I simply can remove my study identifier. Correct? So what I'm going to have now, the first 4 digits of the subject, then the last 3 characters of your subject separated by hyphen. This is what I'm looking at, correct? So now run this. Now go to your DM base. What happened? Something went wrong. Let me check what went wrong. Close. Hmm, ah, I understand it. We renamed
So
it.
did not
We
do
renamed
sub.
it.
Okay.
We renamed it. We renamed it. Nothing else. We renamed it. So what we can do now is, instead of renaming that here, let's have this as it is. That is subject. This is subject ID. So we can have it as it is. We don't need to rename. That's it. I wrongly understand subject as a subject ID. It is already there. Now you can see I'm creating subject ID based on the subject. So I don't need to worry about it. So my first four variables are done. Then I need to go with the site ID. What is site ID calculation? Where it is, where the site ID is? Here it is. Site ID supposed to be a character. You can see it is going to be a character, right? It is there in the first page. It is telling there, it is mentioned here as it is there in the first page. So just I'm also going to check here. You can see study ID, which is going to be the input name is going to be the site ID. So wherever you have the site ID, take that particular one and make sure it is going to be a character with a length of 8. Correct? So I need to check my site ID first. So from the raw data set, check where is my site ID is. So site ID, here it is. It is mentioned as internal ID for the site. So I need to check internal ID for the site. Here it is. This internal ID for the site is nothing but my site ID, right? It is in a numeric format. So what I need to do, I need to convert this first. So how to convert? So to convert, before we convert this, make sure it is going to be site ID. The length is supposed to be 8 dot. I assign the length first. I keep it this. Yeah. Then my site ID is equal to site ID. I need to derive it from the variable called site ID itself. In the input also, it is going to be site ID. So I need to rename it, right? Now I need to rename it. There is no other go. So site ID is equal to site ID 1. Here I can call it as put off. I'm converting it. My site ID 1, I'm converting best dot. So I don't need to check the length. Anyways, it is going to be 8 dot. Either I can use the 8 dot or I can simply put best dot of or best dot. Okay. Or no need to do this. Simply go with 8 dot also. But before that particular one, anyways, it doesn't have any of the leading or trailing spaces. Just I'm trying to remove after converting. If I get any, I want to remove them as well. See, this is my site ID. Go with the length. It's a character and 8. So everything is done. 4 variables are created. Why we renamed it and all, you understand, right? Then go to the next variable. Sex is the variable, and for this we have the calculation. It has the control terminology, and the control terminology is here. And it is saying that there is a variable called sex already exists. Here it is. Correct? From here they want to see, though there is going to be a coded value, your specification Excel saying that you need to derive it from the variable called sex. So go here and check how your data looks like first. DM1, I close this. So I just open this one more time. So go with, let me check what is the label that they have applied. Oh, it's sex itself. Okay, here it is. Right, it is character 18 dot, but here it is going to be, it's supposed to be having the values of male and female. So under these cases, guys, we don't know all of them are male and female or not. Maybe we can have different names also. So just to go with the scrutiny, what we can do is we will create one test data set. We will use raw.dm1. Okay, or we can also do like this: proc SQL select distinct, because it is going to be a grouping variable only, right? So I can go with distinct sex from raw.dm1. Why I'm doing it? I just want to see what and all the values that are exist under the variable called sex. We know that it is going to have not more than one, sorry, not more than two. See, female and male, only two of them are there. Just I'm cross verifying it. Now I can come back to this. My specification Excel says that here is the data that we need to look at. So what we can do now, can we go ahead and we can write one format, user defined format, so that we can use it anytime we want. Let's create it here. All right, build LBC. It is going to be sex. Here we can say the values are going to be, it is going to be female. I can call it as F. What is this? Proc frequency will also show the values. Definitely it will show. Yes, you can use it. Right? All the occurrences, everything it will show. Yes, you can use it. If that is the case, that is nothing but the question is going to be how to check the distinct values from your variable. I can go with the proc frequency, I can go with the proc means also. Using the proc means also we can do this. Right, we can go ahead with the first dot and last dot and I can calculate it, or I can go with the proc SQL. All these options are available. You can use anything which you are comfortable, right? Generally I will go with the proc frequency whenever I want to do some numbers. That is nothing but how many false and how many of them are male, how many of them are female. Indirectly it is a frequency, right? Wherever frequency required, I'll go with that. If it is not about the frequency, if it is a distinct values, since it is a grouping variable, right? We know that there will be only limited values there. I use the proc. Sorry, I use the proxy. Okay. Now I come back to this particular one, and here I can directly use this method. What is this method? I know that I want to calculate a variable called sex, and I want to have this length as 1. It's a character. I want to keep this under the keep variables. I want to rename it because this variable already exists in the data set. Rename it. Done. So now I have renamed it. I have applied a format here. I run the user defined format here, and finally I'm going to run my data set here. No errors. Go to your, okay, this one I keep on closing it. We shouldn't close this one. Where is this DM1? Let's keep it open, and now I'll go with my DM. Now you can see control terminology has come to the picture. Correct? Now what's the next thing? ARM code. This is nothing but ARM code only, right? Treatment code. Okay, so what we have, how to calculate your ARM code? So it is going to be a planned ARM code. So they mentioned that if modulus of equal to 1, it is going to be LEF dummy randomization. So please include a large programming note to indicate his assignment will be replaced with the actual randomization when it is available. Okay, let's go with the ARM first, then we can go ahead with the ARM code. Okay, first we go with the ARM, then we can go with the ARM code. Okay, so the ARM is going to be this. Maybe here also we can see. Here is what ARM is. Here is what your ARM code is. Okay, so first let's go with the ARM. So the ARM is going to be LEF is equal to this, MOX is equal to this particular one. What is the input variable that we are bringing? We are not bringing any input variable. here. So let me check this. Is there any? Okay, there is no arm and there is no arm code. So just keep this aside, guys. I'll explain this in a while. So you also have the actual arm. You also have your actual arm code. All these four I'll explain together now. So let me finish country because this also requires some formatting. So once I complete this, I'll explain all the arms together. Okay, so let me go with this. So country, there are going to be a lot of information available for the country. So we need to consider all of them. So country, it is going to be populate from countries or sites. Okay, we are going to have, where is your raw data set? Demography, youth, status. Okay, they mentioned something called populate from countries or sites, or it must be a document there. Projects, doc. This Excel is missing, guys. I need to figure it out and I'll give you, because I need to export this. Meaning of this particular one is there is a document which is having all the countries and sites information. There is a document. The document is missing here. I need to figure it out so that I can share it with you. It is not there. Maybe here. No, it is not there. I will share this, guys. I will share this. Okay. So just wait for a while. Maybe somewhere I can see that, but where exactly it is present, I don't know. So I'll check this and I'll give this to you. Okay. Because all we need is there is going to be a document with all the country names and the list that we supposed to use it. Okay. But that is missing. Can you see this like this? This is also not. Okay. Not here. Not here. I'll share the list. Don't worry about it. What exactly is going to be the list? I'm going to share it so we can go ahead with that. Okay. So six of them we have done. Five of them we yet to do. No worries. Just keep this aside. Then go to the next set. Whatever is readily available, we go with that. And whichever requires little more attention, that we do little later. Maybe by tomorrow we can do that. Okay. So no worries. So now, next set of variables I'm going to take here are going to be expected variables. So the expected variables, I believe all of them, most of them are going to be the dates up to this, except the death flag and death date and time. Remaining all going to be your dates up to this. The six of them are going to be the dates. Then death date and death flag, if I want it, I need to get this information from your AA dataset, adverse events dataset that yesterday we have done, right? From there we have to get this. And then age we can calculate it. We have something called a dm1.age that we can use it directly. Age units by default it is going to be, if the age is not missing, it is going to be years. Race is going to be the one where we need to go ahead with the formatting again. So these three we can directly do it now, which are nothing but our age, age units, and race. Let's do these three. Because remaining on all dates I want to do it tomorrow because all the dates together we can go. Okay, so let's go with the age. So how to calculate your age? The age can be calculated based on your input field called age itself. That is also age only. Okay, but I need to rename it and I have to, yeah. So go to your DM code. Now I'm going to add age here and I'm going to rename it this here. And then I'm going to say that age is equal to h1. Okay, this is readily available. That's the reason we are going. Then if age is not equal to missing, if not missing of age, then age u is equal to years. Here they mentioned that it's supposed to be years, right? Else age u is equal to missing. Am I correct? That's all right. So as long as age is available, go ahead with that. If not, go with the age units. And what is going to be the length for this particular one? For age units, any defined length they have mentioned, character 10. So it is going to be $10. Let's go with the $10 here. So age u $10. Go ahead with this. No errors. Go with your DM base. Now I have age u as well as the age. Both of them are available. Right? Cool. What is the next thing that we can do? We have something called race. The race is the one, my input variable for the race is also going to be race only, but I need to go with the controlled terminology. Correct? This is going to be my control terminology. Copy this. Go here. So all the double quotes can be replaced with single. Done. Now we can go ahead with this one. So what is going to be the value? Let's check the value first. I can directly use this here. So value, I'm going to do this for the race. So I'll just call it as a race itself. And here are going to be my values. So what are the values? What is going to be white? Okay, already it is present. Directly I can use this. And before I use this, what is the other thing that I need to take care? My output variable should be character and the length is equal to 50. So first rename it. The length is supposed to be 50. Done. What is the last thing that we need to do? We apply this particular formatting on top. Done. Can we run this now? Okay, it is already open here. Close and run this again. Something Koti Reddy. Which one is missing? Oh, this one. Wonderful. Got it. Thank you. Done. So here is what your DM base is. What happened to this? Something wrong with the DM base?
Dollar raise dot.
Which one we have used? Use the X variable here. Wonderful. Copy paste. right? So everything is proper now. The data is available. Perfect. So under this particular one also, we have completed these three. So now these are already required variables which are completed. These are pending. Under your expected variables, we have these three completed. Now we need to go with this. So this one we can do tomorrow, followed by permissible variables. Let me take the permissible variables also. So there are only few permissible variables. These are my out names. So let's see anything we can do right away because few of them are readily available. So ethnic is already there, but it is going to have the control terminology. So let's complete the ethnic. So I want to go with the ethnic here. It is already present in your input data set with the same name. Here it is. Okay. So I can use the same here. So rename it. Ethnic is equal to ethnic1, and I can also do the same thing here. Ethnic1. I'll call this as ETHNIC, ethnic. So with this ethnic, I need to create one more value. It is also a character one. So dollar followed by this. So here I need to go with the control terminology. So what is my control terminology for this? My control terminology for ethnic is this one. All right. Only two are there. In place, close, done. Copy this, create your data set. So create your format here. Done. Run your format once. Your format is available. With the same thing, let's proceed with your ethnic. Okay. DM base. Yes, ethnic is also done. Wherever it is there, it is already applicable. Correct? Done? Right. So far, we have completed this. Let's see other values as well, because we have something called birth date and time. We have investigator ID and investigator name. I don't think so these two are available here, investigator ID and investigator name. If yes, let's check if it is part of any of this data set. In the input, it is not there, but you can also check your CRF. It may be available in your this part. Let's check this. Study ID. Just a second. It will be also mentioned here as well, guys. That's the reason I'm checking. If there is anything mentioned, we can use that. Country, actual, ethnic, domain. It is not part of this. Here, any CRF page numbers. It given as populate from site names. Some document I'm missing. SDTM specs, DMC data. Mhm. Just checking if any at any place if it is available, at least we can use it. Okay. Can you find something? Maybe I'm scrolling down. That if at all, if you can find it anywhere, also let me know. This is uncompressed one. Hmm. No, it is not there. I'll check this, guys. I'll check this and I can give you. Okay. Some documents are missing here. Let me figure it out where I have left them, so I can get those details as well. Okay. Because investigator name will be there. So that name somewhere I'm missing here. There are two documents, right? Any one of the document it must present. Sponsor, medical officer, protocol approval. Here it is, investigator signature is missing. Signature details are missing. Okay, I'll check it somewhere, guys, because you can see this page, right? Investigator page. Let me show you. This is investigator signature page. In this page, maybe we might have masked it because it's a confidential information, right? I'll try to get this. Here it should be. The name and this the investigator signature must be there. So from there, basically we can get it, but I'm not sure why it is not part of this. But somewhere it should be there in any of these documents. I'll go through those documents. I can get this for you. Okay. But so far, are you able to understand? Because whatever the variables we have developed so far, any questions? Anyone, any questions? We are going on a slope phase only for this particular one. So if I complete this also, you will be well versed with minimum of 7 domains, 4 plus 4, 8 domains. Then we can start with our theoretical classes on the interventions. Okay. So all I'm saying is now you're supposed to be good with these 4, because this we completed. The remaining 4, the remaining 3 you can write it. We are going with this particular one. Remaining 3 are going to be easy. So by this week you're supposed to be good with all these 8 domains. So the next week we are going to start the interventions. Okay. All right, guys. If any questions, feel free to ask me. If there are no questions, we can end up the session for today. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.